make another video. I'm here to do another final thought on one of the books that I just finished. And the name of that book is A Change in the Winds. And this is book one of two in the Hanika Vienta Mystery Series. And this book was written by Nikki Mellado. And it was released in 2019. And this is a Christian mystery, and I would say with a dash of romance. That's how I would label this book. So if you're watching my videos, you probably are aware that I've already mentioned this in one of my videos anyway, that Nikki is a fellow booktuber, and she also happens to be an independent author. So when I found this out, I asked her if she would be willing to sell me a couple of her books, and she said she was able to do so. And I decided that I wanted to give her books a try. So she sent me the two books that are in this series, and I told her that I would read them and give my final thoughts on them. So that is what we're doing. All right. So in this book, our main character is Hanika Vienta. Hanika is a full-time owner of a coffee shop called the Cup of Kindness, and cup is spelt with a K, which I thought was really quite a cute name for a coffee shop. And to be honest with you, I now would like to open up a small coffee shop, strictly from the name. Let's see. She is also a she's also a part-time private investigator. So the book starts out with Hanika in the chief of police's office, and she's about to get a lecture on what a private investigator isn't to do. I guess it's possible. I don't want to give too much away that Hanika may or may not have broken a law. She's in the process of trying to solve the murder of her parents, and this has been going on for, I guess, a couple years. I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years. I can't remember, but basically, it's consuming her and clouding her better judgment. And she's doing things that she knows she probably shouldn't be doing, but she's so focused on trying to solve this murder that she's actually doing things she shouldn't be doing. In the little lecture, the chief of police advises her to maybe take a break from this, maybe take on a new case, because she hasn't actually even worked on anything other than this case in the last couple of years. And after some thinking, Hanika decides that that's what she's going to do. So she takes on her new case, and this is where she meets Cameron Baines. And Cameron is hiring her to try and find his biological mother. He was given up for adoption as a baby, and so he has hired Hanika to try and find his mother. So this is how Cameron and Hanika meet. These are our two main characters in the book. And without giving too much away, I will say Cameron is a devout Christian, while I would say Hanika has lost her faith, basically stemming from the murder. Well, I should say the murders of her parents. So Hanika has finished working her new case for Cameron, and the two of them end up working closely together to try and solve the murder of her parents. The remainder of the story is basically of them working together, trying to solve this mystery, as well as Hanika trying to work out her thoughts on God and basically where she stands with all of this. And basically, they spend a lot of time together on this, so there is a bonding that starts to happen between the two. What I will say is, from a Christian point of view, there are some, I would say, some pretty deep and moving aspects of Cameron's side of this relationship. I feel that Nikki nailed it when it came to the Christian aspect of being equally yoked. I would say it's one thing if both people are non-believers and one of them becomes a believer later in life. That in itself is hard enough, and I can vouch for that personally. But it's clear, if you are a Christian, you should be with another Christian when dating. If you aren't, there's going to be some wedges and disagreements on how both of you see this world. You're just not going to mesh well together. I thought she did a really good job there. So I believe you get the gist of the story. And I really don't want to spoil anything if anyone decides that they would like to check this book out. But I did want to read two quotes. I'm not one to annotate books, but while I was reading this, there was two parts in this book that I absolutely love. So I'm going to read them. So forgive me if it sounds robotic. But so what happens here is Hanika is arguing with Cameron. So this is what Hanika says. I'm tired of people trying to help me. I just want to be left alone so I can sort this out by myself. None of you understand what it's like to have God hurt you again and again. I can't trust him. Then Cameron's response is, Hanika, we're the ones who need God's forgiveness. How can you blame him for doing something wrong in your life when you haven't even let him be part of it, when you haven't taken the time to get to know him? So what I would say to this is there's just so many truths to that. Thinking we can do things on our own, blaming God for things when we don't know who he is. I thought that was a really good part of the book. So the other part that I really enjoyed was when Cameron and Hanika are at the ocean, and Cameron says he loves being at the ocean because it reminds him of God's mercy. And Hanika says, how so? Cameron's response was, it never fails. God's mercy is constant, forever coming in waves towards us. It washes away the sin, the dirt from our feet, the footprints, mistakes we've made are erased from the sands, from his memory. The water gently pulls at us, urging us to come deeper in faith, to trust him more. And I thought this was absolutely beautiful. So I know Nikki wanted me to critique this a little bit and give her an honest opinion. She says that this is one of the ways that will help her become a better writer. So this is my thoughts. This is for Nikki. You're all allowed to listen in as well. I would say strictly from a storytelling point, I thought the book was good. The only critique I had would be that I felt like when things were playing out, they unfolded too quickly. Personally, I would have liked to had a little more meat to go with my potatoes there, if that makes any sense. Maybe a little more fat to chew on. I don't know. I'm not really sure what I should be using there, but that would really be my only critique to this book. I do think that this book really shines from a Christian aspect. I can tell that Nikki has a pretty solid understanding of biblical Christianity just from reading this book. So yeah, let's see. I'm just checking my notes here. I have here that I did like how the ending was. She was able to pull everything together at the end. I also have here in my notes that Nikki didn't let me down in my enjoyment of reading, not our top 10 authors out there. I've said before that I've enjoyed reading independent authors in the past. So you did not let me down there, Nikki. So I will say I gave this book a 3.0 rating. I know that probably doesn't surprise Nikki because all my books are 3 and 3.5 ratings. But this one falls right into that category. I would say the story was good, but it was the message through it that I really enjoyed. And what I would also add is if you are a Christian, I would recommend this book. Nikki, I want to say thank you again. What I will say is so far so good, and I look forward to the second book. All right? I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.